Hello, beautiful people. Ah. So here I am in this date. I've invited you to talk about the holy cock, the holy penis. And I'm gonna start by telling you that I am coming to this meeting with quite a heavy heart, a lot of sadness, a lot of density in my body. And that's okay, here I am, I'm still showing up. And a lot of it was created by, this morning I opened my mail and YouTube told me that they suspended my account and they removed my latest video, which was unlisted, was just for my student, and it's just me sharing a meditation. There were no picture of cock whatsoever. And of course, last week on Friday, also when I posted for this live, the post was taken down, an account was restricted. I got a warning from Instagram and Facebook. Again, it's not my first one, you know. In the picture, there was a penis, a painting, an art expression that was painted on a wall of the Penis Monastery in Bhutan. And when I put it there, I felt the tension. You know, if I look back, I felt that zing. And then I let it be because I thought it's art, isn't it? And a part of my interest in re-educating us as a culture into recognizing beauty. And it was so beautifully painted, and it's painted on a monastery, right? What there is more holy of that? We all agree, you know. So that was the picture. And on my comment, I didn't speak much about it. I just said that join me for a meeting, a lecture, and a prayer to sanctify the penis. And the comment from Instagram is that I was taken down because I'm soliciting sexual activity. And I was like, yeah, yeah, I do. I do solicit sexual activity of a higher quality, of a higher realm. I solicit, all my teaching are about making love with God. And then I sat with this thinking, oh wow, so now in our current society, sexual activity in itself, it's a problem, right? It didn't say, we thought your post was untasteful. We didn't like your picture. We thought it was too graphic and too explicit. I accept, you know. But the fact that I'm soliciting sexual activity, and that is a problem, made me really think about that. And so it's okay that the majority of social media, at least in my feed, maybe because I'm a woman in my 50s, and so I get fed a lot of plastic surgery, solution, anti-aging, so soliciting, going against the natural rhythm of life, it's okay. Particularly when you have to buy a product that will do that, or you're gonna go for plastic surgery, and I constantly get this fed, a 70 years old lady look like 30, and this is good, this is a good thing. And you have to go and spend money and to someone, to a clinic, and buy this product. Then it's okay, this is supported, right? But now, here I am soliciting that you love your body, that you love your sex, because you've got it for free. You don't have to pay anybody to do that. That gets banned. it's intense, you know. So I'm not even angry. I'm not angry. I don't feel rebellious. I feel deeply sad. Yeah, I feel my heart is very tender because I'm wondering if what I do still has a place in this world. And yet I am part of this world, right? I'm also here living this experience. And for me, there is nothing more obvious than what I'm teaching. I feel I'm almost inventing water. You know, sexual activity is the one thing, perhaps I dare to say the only thing. I'm not an anthropologist, but I would dare to say is the one thing the human being has been doing since the beginning of its beginning. When human was made or evolved, it doesn't matter, same things, because the animal also have sex. And by the way, on Instagram it's okay if I show animal having sex. These are the community guideline, but not human, as if we are not animals. Just want to put that in because I found that really cruel and hurtful towards understanding the human condition. When we put ourselves apart from the animal, we put ourselves apart from nature, and now we're really parting, and I'm not sure where we're gonna go when we are so disconnected on our own journey into our own idea of what is right and acceptable, instead of listening to the law of nature. The Creator is already telling us what is good and right, but we let that be. We're not listening. And I've lost my thread now. Yes, when we began to be human, in order to make another human, we made love. And the dynamic of procreation have been the same for millions of years. How long is the human being? I'm not sure, but I think millions. And here we are. Everybody, penis inside vagina, hopefully with some pleasure, sometimes without. But the mechanic of sex hasn't changed. Culture has changed so much. Fashion changes. Our liking in music, what we eat, how we live has changed radically. How we gather together as community. We're reading book now, and there was a time we didn't even have written language. We didn't have musical instrument. We didn't have library and PhD. And yet, thank God, the mechanic of sex still happen, penis inside vagina, and here we are today. And we can enjoy the richness of our culture. So what I'm trying to say, that our sexual activities are at the core of our existence. Do I stimulate sexual activity? Yes, absolutely. But I hope I give some frame and structure to really enjoy our sexual activity. And in this way, meet the divine in its original design. Because this creative force, life force, the mind of the divine, God, Goddess, call it whatever you want, has put the secret of expansion of itself in our body and in our genital. And so if you want to know anything about your human nature, and you want to know anything about God and your relationship with God, you have to look there at the beginning, where God entered the body, right? When consciousness, awareness take place, and that it's inside a human body after sexual activity. And so, do I have to spell it out that the penis is sacred? really, it's in front of our eyes all the time. Now we have the problem of sexuality. We have the problem with pornography. Yes, because we took it away from a natural function. We took it away. We're removing from the world of nature and wonder, the wonder of nature. I think David Attenborough should make a documentary of the wonderment of human sex together with the wonderment of the whale dancing in the deep. It's the same thing. But we put it aside. We said no. Religious said no. We're all victim of this bad education, unfortunately. And so we can't get rid of it. It's impossible. It's intrinsic in our essence, and so it comes out distorted like a gremlin from underneath. And now we have to deal with the big problem of pornography, sexual abuse, child trafficking, blah, blah, blah. You know it all. War. Because I think if more people would make great sex, there wouldn't be no one on the battlefield to make war. Really, really. It seems so simplistic. It actually is so simple that all the bigger arguments deny it. And I see how our culture has turned the penis of man as a weapon of war, as a weapon to conquer and pillage and rape, like we rape in the land, or cultures, or continent. And I wonder if this culture would really pay tribute to life and the sacredness of the human form. We wouldn't even have to stop war. War wouldn't intrinsically begin, because we know by history very well there are no winners in war. There are no winners. It doesn't matter who claims the war, but everybody loses. This is so very clear to me. And then I'm looking at all the political leaders and the warlords, and there are world lords, never ladies. And they are all men wanting to conquer, being bigger, being greater, more powerful. And I wonder if there were women in their feminine, really in their feminine, because now we have a lot of women in the masculine. And I also want to say these are not every man on the planet. These are some men that really believe this bad education and believe it to be truth. Because I saw a lot of video of a lot of mothers in Israel and Palestine asking for no revenge, not on my name. Stop it now. I don't care. I don't want revenge for the death of my son, because I don't want another son to die, because there'll be another mother behind it. And when we do this, it's very hard to rebuild cultures. And so I feel that we've gone so far because we missed, this is due to the original crack that happened in our body when we deny the beauty and the sacredness of our genital. And in particularly, you know, when I speak about this extreme masculinity can conquer and pillages, we do this with politics, we do this with business. I've done a killing in my business. This is the language we use. And someone has to die in order for me to thrive. Is that true? And so my heart really breaks when I see the penis as this beautiful tool for life. It holds the seed of life. I don't have to really tell you more to build this argument. The seed of life is culture in this organ of sex. And you know, the organ is also an instrument that makes music, normally used in the church for sacred music. And in Italian, the gland of the penis is called capella, la cappella, and is always used in a denigratory way. But actually, we all know the Cappella Sistina, right? The Sistine Chapel, with the amazing painting of Leonardo. And the chapel, the Cappella, is a place we go to pray, to encounter God. We all agree on this, right? You can ask Wikipedia. And so let's look at this language. It tells us that the Pinus is the place where we go praying, where we go to meet the divine in the expression of the seed of life. This is divine blessing. We don't need the holy water in the church or any priest that anoint you. You anointing life with your seed, your holy seed, if you wish to. If you want to agree with what I'm telling you, it's always your choice. But imagine how much blessing the Pinus could bestow in the world to counterpart the pain and the horror that has been creating for so many years. You know, in many countries, rape is adopted as a tool for war. The man intelligence worked it out that in order to destroy the culture, a village, a community, a nation, you destroy the body of women, which are the mother. And when they are broken, everything breaks. And then it's easy to conquer, right? I mean, I laugh, not to cry. And I think we have to be ironic about it. Otherwise, I would cry 1,000 tears until I die. But here I am. And so let's see if we can do something other. And for me, this is my prayer. This is how I pray with you today. In bringing back the tenderness in the body of man. So one time, one of my beautiful colleagues, Dakini Shima, was telling a story that never left my being, and I tell many times. It's not a story. She brought a reflection and a contemplation of the first man on the moon. The man, of course, there are only men, and the men are landing in an uncharted territory, the moon, that is the land of poetry and love and and romance. The feminine heart of all the human art and heart, but all the arts, you know, songs and poetry and books have been written about the romance of the moon. And the man lands on the moon, and the first things that they do, they stomp on it, and then they plonk a flag. It's an arrow. They penetrate the crust of the moon with ego, the nation. It's like a name. Tom, John, you are mine. What an extreme action. And we were all cheering and clapping. We are so good. And no one saw the violence. And when you're meeting, you don't have to conquer in order to feel okay about yourself. The moon was not rejecting the visitors. And they could have, instead of conquer, contemplate, revere, ask for permission. Hey, land, untouched land, we are here. We bring in gifts. Bring something, throw rose petal from our planet. We bring you honey and rose petal to show you the beauty of love from our planet Earth as an offering to you. First, how wonderful would that be? Like, it doesn't mean she might gonna let you in even deeper. You don't have to plonk the arrow with the name. And so this is very reflective of our culture, when we conquer a woman, we conquer the heart of a woman, we conquer her body with the penis. The penis becomes a weapon of conquering. And so in our current culture, the way boy grows up is with the education that has to be the more, the deeper, the stronger, the fast and the furious. How many? How many? Let's count them. Doesn't matter their name. Doesn't matter how tender they were. Doesn't matter where you did it. How was it? It all matters how many. Counting. And the majority of the time, when this boy fuck randomly, they're shooting from the hips. Yeah, we say that. We say this. Shooting from the hips. We shoot in bullet. We shoot in the sperm. And we don't care where the sperm goes. Because in fact, for many men, actually, it's quite disgusting. For many women too. But I'm talking now, addressing the man, because this is your body, right? For many women, menstrual blood is disgusting. And this is the conversation I've been having with them for many, many years. And now I'm bringing this about sperm. Because I noticed that when men don't build a healthy relationship with their own sperm, they're gonna throw it, they're shooting it out, they don't wanting it inside. They want to get rid of it because it's disgusting and it's shameful. And they get rid of it in the body of a woman. And when I see this, I start to also make some contemplation and thinking, is this the woman you say you love? Or any other body. It can be the body of another man or the body of a non-binary person. It doesn't matter. Forgive me for my limited language to express this concept, but please receive them as concept. I'm still refining them as well. So I'm inviting you now in this laboratory of my being. These are my contemplations. This is how I spend my time. And I dedicate my life to look into the symbology of sex, to understand human behavior, and how spirituality, and particularly the teaching of Tantra, can really support us in finding harmony where we've lost it. So when a man shoots from the hip, he's already like a gun. We're having a language of weapon. Get rid of something he doesn't want to hold on to. And is not concerned where it goes. And in the majority of pornography, the $1 million frame shot, I don't know how they call it, is the man that comes on the woman mouth and face. This is relevant for me. I don't know this for sure, and please, I'm looking forward to hear all your feedback. I think it's nice for men to see they come. So they come in her mouth, but then it's spread over her face or over her body. Although I get rid of it with disrespect, I want to see it. So here there is the first insight that it belongs to you. Is the essence of your being, is the most precious thing you have, that tells everything about yourself. The hologram of you, it's encoded there. It's powerful, it's potent, it's precious. It's like a diamond. And it looks iridescent, like a mother of pearl, like the juice of the moon. This is the language of the Tantras. And so in a sense, I noticed that although the man expressed this calm inside the mystery of the body of another, there is a desire to still have a connection and see it. When I look at this frame in pornography, I never see that after the man comes in her face, he goes there and kiss the beloved and kiss this partner and honor them and thank them for receiving the holy seed as a divine vessel, as a divine chalice, the Holy Grail. The frame often ends there. There is no personal connection, there is no love, there is no care, there is no respect. And so if I come back in the teenage education that the majority of boys receive, in my generation, maybe now it's changing, I hope so, I know so, and yet my generation are men active in the world still, so men in the 40, 50, 60, I know, received the similar education I received. And in those days, you come and you relinquish any responsibility to your sperm. It's over there. And normally it's your partner, and in those years generally a woman, but sometimes a man, that pick up a towel or a cloth and clean up your mess and throw it away for you. And what I see, that then and now you're using the body of another human, the body of the beloved, the body of reality, to empty your sexual shame so you don't have to deal with it and someone else can. And for some of you, heterosexual men, you've done this all of your life, and in fact it's your wife that deals with your sexual shame the majority of the time. And I hear this from my group of women, and I hear this from the men I talk to, and I'm not saying any of this to shame you. To the contrary, I am speaking so honestly so that we stop hiding inside a behavior which is socially accepted, that is cruel and unbearable for our soul, all of our soul. Even you, if you are this man doing that, I know that you're doing that because you've been educated, and I know that inside of your heart you know that your sperm is sacred, and would be lovely if someone taught you what to do with it and how to relate to it and how to interact with it. So my suggestion to all my students is to first of all agree, or at least agree to explore everything I told you, to give it a shot, pun intended. And the next time you come to organs and you are ejaculating, that you bring this awareness in your mind, here I am offering the seed of life. Here God is coming into the world through my humble instruments of love. We say this in sex, right? Oh, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming. It's lovely. I love this language. This is a mantra. We are speaking the spontaneous mantra. Then we go and spend years and years in monastery to earn, to intellectualize the human dimension, when in reality God is so clever, put it spontaneously already in you. You are already chanting the mantra. I'm coming. Who is coming? Aren't you there making love in that moment? So who is coming? Ask yourself. Because I've asked myself, I'm telling you this because I spent decades asking myself, who is coming? Why am I saying this? And when I say it, makes me even more open and available and aroused to the moment. Who is coming? Maybe God is coming. Maybe the divine is coming. Perhaps the ultimate truth of existence is coming, is joining in. It was here all the time already, but I wasn't aware. And the moment I name it and I become aware of the action, I join in with the cosmic endless organs that is already happening. I don't have to go and get it. It's happening the moment I rest back and join in. This is the magic, the mystery, the sacred, ultimate prayer that is already happening in your body. Wow. God is coming through your penis in the form of the seed that feels like ultimate ecstasy, a rapture of ecstatic bliss. Wow. The eyes roll back. Even if it lasts 3 seconds, in those 3 seconds you forget who you are. And this is the truth for every human being, no matter your gender. You forget who you are, and that's a good thing, because you become one with the divine that is not separate. It's everything. And we all get to experience this. And the divine was so clever that coded this knowledge into the one activity we all do. Even if you don't have sex with another, you have sex with yourself, self-pleasure. So we all have access to it. This is to say, you don't need a religion or a priest or a priestess, because this day priestess also is a big name. It's the same thing. It's for everybody. Everybody has access to the conversation with God. That's what God desires, because God is you. It's inside of you. So you can begin just with this awareness when you are about to come. Meditate with who is coming and open your heart and make yourself available for God to gush through your being. And just see what happens, just by this little moment of awareness. Nothing else has to change. We're going in steps. And maybe that can engage you for a decade. This practice have engaged me for all my life. They don't need to change. They're so essential. This is the Bija mantra. You know, if you're a yogi or you're exposed to yoga, you know this. The Bija mantra is the seed mantra. In that syllable mantra, it contains the holographic expression of the deity in its totality, which is also always as an aspect of reality. It's called the seed. Your sperm is called the seed. You are the living Bija mantra. When you say, God is coming, I am coming as God, penetrating this moment, penetrating my own heart, penetrating my life, penetrating reality, penetrating the body of form, the body of the beloved, the body of life, the body of another human being, with reverence. The other human being is the Holy Grail, is the chalice. So choose well who you putting your seed into. Choose very, very well. Because when you use another human being as trash, that's what is gonna come back to you. And I don't think that any man that rape another human being feel really good about it, feel fulfilled, feel expanded and realize. I don't think so. It's a chain of shame and guilt and shame and guilt and self-violence and violence to the other. This is really where we need to crack it, at the beginning of the shame. So we need to stop being ashamed about our body fluid that create life on the planet. When you stop being ashamed of your sperm, by default, I don't have to tell you, you naturally will become much more alerted to who do you offer your seed to? Because this other human being becomes an offering, the recipient of your offering. And normally we bring the offering to God into a temple, into a church, into the mosque, into, you name it, sacred, holy site. So start to see the other person with you as a holy site, as a temple where you are offering the essence of your prayer. And so you're going to start to be very selective who you make love to. This fucking around cannot happen any longer. It's not about now quantity, how many did you fuck. It's absolutely by quality. How deeply did you make love? How profound was your experience? Because those are the experiences that change your life, that fulfills you, that enrich you, that turns you into a king and a queen walking on this planet, and a god and a goddess, truly. And that's why in experience like rape and pornography, there is this continuous, we need to keep going back to it because we are always unfulfilled, always unfulfilled, always unfulfilled. Because this experience is entrenched in shame and is never gonna meet its own potential because you're putting a lid on it at the start, at the arising of this divine expression. And so we can also say that energetically pornography doesn't move to the heart. You're looking at a screen, you see sexual activity, you replicate it here. You move only here. And look what we do, we're cutting the body exactly in the connection of the heart and the sex. And when this is cut, your experience will always be unfulfilling, because the experience of God on the world is to fulfill its own awareness of itself, which happen in the heart. Your heart is the heart of reality. This is what the Tantra teaches us. And when you start to make love, including your heart, and transforming this event as a cosmic event, as a humbling prayer, you would start having an experience of what I'm telling you right now. This is not just theory, you have to practice. The heart starts to be so fulfilled, you actually don't need so much sex in your life. And I want to burst what's that word? A false belief that us tantric have sex all the time and we become sex addict. It's not true. It's very much to the contrary. In fact, we become so sexually fulfilled that one beautiful sexual experience can last us a year, a decade. It doesn't matter, because we also learn how to recall the experience internally by the inner tantric yoga. And we know, science tells us, that the brain doesn't know what the eyes are really seeing or what you close the eyes and evoke inside. And this is a technique to pierce through time and space, and you can be wherever you are, with whomever you desire to be. Once this experience was established in your body, you can repeat it endless time within your being and find fulfillment and heart opening. And this is when sex becomes a mystical experience, and you only have to go there. So for me, as a man, it's really important that when you ejaculate, the first thing you need to do is to become intimate with your own seed. And so touch it, feel the consistency, and when you touch it, look at it and think with wonderment. This is the Tantra school of fascinating wonderment. Bring the fascination and the wonderment in your life, and that which you thought was maybe disgusting to throw in the bin, put it in your hand and reveal it. Look at the texture and know inside, you can't even see it with your eyes, but you know it's there. Millions of sperm, millions of points of intelligence that hold your own DNA. That's fucking marvelous. And feel it, sense it, give thanks, pray to it, smear it on your body, on your face. And by the way, really good for skin problem. And for free, again, it's another of those things that are for free. But of course, we don't look into that because someone wants you to spend a lot of money in all this other procedure. Taste it. What does it taste like? Is it possible that there are couple married for 20 years and the woman knows exactly what the sperm of the man tastes and the man never tasted itself? How is this to relinquish responsibility about your sexuality? It's really relinquish it to her. She must know your sperm. You must know your own first. This is called erotic independence. This is extreme sexual codependence. You've made sex for 30 years and you don't know what you taste like? Come on. Huh? Right? It's like you're driving a car, you want to know what's the mechanism of this car is, right? As far as I know, men, they love the mechanism. So learn to begin to love and be curious about the mechanism of your eroticism. Taste it, love it, swallow it, make ritual with it. Collect it, put it in a jar, go to the sea, go to the garden, go to the park, put it in a plant. It's organic matter. Why do we even throw it away and flush it? Offer it. And in this way, your seed penetrate the whole of reality. And then it will enter the air, the soil, the wind, with your prayer. With your prayer. And I know that the majority of you men agrees with me about war. Do something about it. It's something that no one needs to know. Your intimate prayer with the world to bring blessing to that which for so many years have brought pain, death, suffering to the world, which is your penis. And your prayer needs to begin with you, and you loving your penis into an instrument of love and blessings to the world and to the body of women or the body of anybody you will enter with utmost honoring and respect the chalice of your prayer. So everybody take a deep breath. It's a lot, and I just touched a little piece here, right? Just thought about sperm. The conversation is so big, and it's a very important one. Can you believe it? That social media was so afraid of me having this conversation. I struggle to believe it. I feel so innocent and anyway, I want to not lose the thread of loving your seed, and I'm just speaking about men here. And if there are women, many women are listening. I know it because many women keeps dropping on me and telling me how amazing is the work I do with men. Please keep up with it. Please keep up with it. We need it so much. We need it as women on the planet. Thank you. So the women are speaking. The women are calling for the truth is time. So I'm inviting all of you women to help me supporting this teaching. Make it yours. Talk to your lover, to your partner. If your mothers, talk to your son in this way. It's so simple and it's so obvious. And so it is also true that maybe when the teenage boy offered his penis and his sacred seed to his first lover, she or he rejected it. And that locked them into a freeze. Or maybe it was just your mother, yeah. And she shamed you and she rejected you. And the love for your mother is so big that this freeze of moment made you have an agreement with yourself that you're not going to do that again. And so this is going to require your willingness to move through your freeze. There are so many great support system now. Find the technique that can help you. And breath work and trauma release and body de-armoring. And unlock the freeze in your genital that also froze the heart The heart that naturally wants to love being alive in the body of the world. And this is where the wound between man and woman keep complementing itself, right? The woman that couldn't receive you is because she was probably also wounded while she was growing up by male figure in her life, and now she has resentment and anger, and she's gonna play out on you. And you're gonna play it out on the women that you meet, and the women on the man, and so on and so forth. And so there is a moment where we have to just say, okay, let's stop and let's begin anew from now. Now is a wonderful moment where all possibilities are open. And when we change the now in choosing what we want to believe it's true, like everything I told you so far, it's your choice. If you want to believe, okay, she made sense, I'm going to accept that what she says is true, your present moment, in this moment, in your acceptance, is also going to change your past. Because it's in virtue of your past that you had a different belief system now. When you change it, because time and space don't really exist, magically, your past change, because it's a sperm within your presence, is a potential, and a different baby get to be made, right? So now it's a courageous moment to start to engage in a different narrative. We all have now, right? And so I don't know where to go. I don't know if to talk more about it while I'm rolling or to wrap it up here, and this is rich. So I'm just gonna drop one piece that is alive in me, because I spoke about pornography cutting the body, and I just want to tell, not only the men, everybody, that your penis begins in your heart, right? So the shaft of the penis doesn't begin here at the base, at the perineum, but energetically moves to the heart. And this is something everybody knows. You can feel it as a man and as a woman. And when this connection is open and flow, sex, it's so deep. And it's the same for women, you know. The yoni ends in the heart. You can penetrate a woman that is cut here, and her legs can be wide open, but you're not going anywhere. You can feel it. She's closed inside. And a man can tell you how much he loves you while you're making love, and do all the things night, and has learned all the tantric technique, how to give you great orgasm. And you know that their penis is not connected to their heart. It means nothing. There's no one here. There's no presence. There is this instrument prodding, entering, pushing, presenting itself from its ego, me, but no compassion of the heart. And every woman knows this intuitively, because when I tell them, they all go, ah, right, I always felt that, I didn't know how to name it. So here I'm giving you a language, but you know all of this already. I'm just giving you a language. If you like it, you can use it to start changing your narrative when you talk about these things, and own it as true. So I'm going to close this here. There is a lot of free content on my website, on my YouTube channel, which has been reopened. And funny enough, as soon as I made a complaint, 30 seconds later they released the ban. I don't know who's doing the ban, but we're also educating robots and computer and artificial intelligence, and it's really important we educating it in the way we want to go about. So yeah, lots of free content, my podcast, other lives here. And then of course I do courses where you can go deeper into this learning. I've got a course, I've got a retreat for men just about a month's time here in South Africa, 9 men, 4 nights together, we re-educating the body into this initiation, because I understand these are beautiful concepts, we are addressing the mind, but at the same time we have to have practices that address the body, and so the two will meet in the explosion of the heart. I'm going to wrap this now for a moment, and I just want to address 2 questions that I received before the live. I don't know if there's been any comment in the live. I'm going to look just now. These 2 questions from 2 men are asking, I've been studying and practicing Tantra semen retention for about 10 years now. I ejaculate about once every 2 to 3 weeks. Very good. What do you think of this practice and more? What suggestion do you have to move my sexual energy? What suggestion do you have to move my sexual energy to, especially when ending a lovemaking session and I do not ejaculate? Okay? So, I read the other question because I think they're interlinked, and maybe you find yourself into this question. The other man asks, I'm interested in methods and a process of understanding the sublimation of sexual energy. I have been working on this for about a year. I practice self-love, I take myself up to 90%, avoid ejaculation, and try to ride the wave until it takes me to altered states. I feel there is progress, but I also feel that I am in the dark in this process. I definitely choose not to ejaculate, and that alone has been a win. But understanding the full body orgasm is a more complicated process. Perhaps you have something to say about this. Yes. So first of all, I want to observe how semen retention become a task more than an exploration of love. So in the light of everything I tell you, when you practice semen retention, what you're doing, instead of offering your sacred seed to another or to the world outside of you, you are offering your semen to yourself. You ejaculate. And where do you ejaculate? Into your heart. Because this is the trajectory of the penis, right? So first I want you to begin thinking of semen retention as ejaculation. You offering your seed to the heart and let it explode there. First pointer. So it doesn't become another hard task to conquer. And I take you back to the beginning of this conversation. When you're conquering, there is a harshness about it. Rather, get to know it. Offer yourself to that which you want to know instead of conquering it. Also, I noticed this again, to sublimate sexual energy into something. And the other question was, where do I move my sexual energy to? And when I hear this language, I hear that we are objectifying sexual energy into a thing that we can do something with. Big red flag. This is the beginning of when we abandon ourselves. It's the beginning of the journey towards the intellectualization of sexuality and sex. Sexuality, your sexual energy is not something, is not an object, is not a thing to package and sell or to hack, biohack. Now these are big, it's a big language we have at this moment. Or to redirect it into the object you want to have in life. You know, hence there is a lot of sex magic that happen. Use your sexual energy to act the energy in your body. You notice this language is the language of the conquistador. Go pillage, get the gold, and then you can do something with this gold. Instead of sit in front of the gold, breathe it, let it in, and what does it do to you when you meet it? So your sexual energy is the gold. Submit to it. Don't be too quick to carve it into something. Submit. There is nothing to sublimate. There is nothing beyond it. It's God itself communicating with you. So, sexual energy is not yours. It's the movement of reality that moves through you. It was here before you. It's going to be here after you. It's been here from the beginning of time. Refer to my conversation, the earlier 10 minutes of this conversation. So, it's intrinsically not yours. So stop thinking that you have to do something with it. Let it flow through you with marvel and fascination and feel everything. There is a gift here. And God is a genius. Designed this force that needs to withstand you. It needs to outlive the human nature and has a gift for you. When it moves through you, brings gifts and blessing for you. It's already a hint. Instead of conquering by putting a stick, it brings flowers and honey and holy water in your body as it moves through you. So you're enjoying her movement and her passage, and you're going to make yourself available more and more often to it, to this force. In the Tantrism language, we call it she because it's the feminine, but that's philosophy. It's got no gender. It's a principle of existence, the most important. So, when sexuality is not yours, there is nothing you have to do with it. Where are you going to direct it? To your heart. To your ability to feel more. Don't sublimate out of your body, but expand the body. Deeply relax every single cell in the body. Relax them like an open heart. And let this energy flood your body, gush through you as a phenomenal blessing. That's the cosmic endless orgasm. It's already happening. There isn't a question. How do I move towards the full body orgasm? I know by paradox it's happened when you stop thinking that you have a body. When you think of yourself just as a vessel of this potent life force, it's happening. When you so focus in this body, this is my body, and this body and the energy, where are they going? They go up, they go down, they go left, they go right. How do I circulate? Where do I contract and where do I expand? All of that technology that exists is out there. It has its place. But sometimes I think it's only the first step to open a door. If you stay stuck with all this logistic, you miss the gushing movement of it. And so, to answer these two students of mine, let go of your intellect. Let go of trying to understanding and do something with it. Every time we do this, there is a subject with an idea that objectifies something, projecting its idea and make it wanting to do something. And in our contemporary world, when we want to be the master of our sexuality, we are the conquistador. And this force that we should bow to in humble devotion, we control it and objectify and make it into a thing, my thing, full of ego, right? So notice when you're asking this question, how the mind objectify, and stop there immediately. And start to become the full subject of your experience in sexuality. That when you are even self-pleasuring, you surrender completely to what is happening. You stop overthinking, which of course now is a paradox, because I just told you to think about God and God moving through you. Yes, you bring the seed of this thought and then you let it do its thing. You can't stay there, keep thinking. You bring the thought in like a seed, you drop it in the heart, you water the heart with your sexual arousal, and then you lay back in the fascinating wonderment of feeling. You're not looking at the flower opening, but you get completely sucked in and absorbed by the wonderment of you being the opening of the flower, you becoming the flowering, and in that you're complete subject. It's totality. You're the subject of your experience.